always planning out my day and make sure I put in time for praying. Because when I have my classes, or there's an event happening on campus, or there's a meeting, we don't have a prayer room on campus. And they've said that they would put one. There used to be one, but then it wasn't very much used. And then there just wasn't a space for it, and people didn't really talk about it because there wasn't really a lot of religious representation on the campus. You know, Muslims were just not a big population on campus. Like I said, it's me and six other girls that I knew. And that's the only people who I know of. And then total, there were 13,000 students. Okay. So it's very, very, yeah, a very small number of Muslims who I know of. Yeah, so I needed to pray in my room. That's what I did. And so I would have to, like, okay, my room is 20 minutes away from this building. Okay, I'm gonna, it takes 20 minutes to do 20 minutes to pray, 20 minutes back. Okay, I need 1 hour. All right, and then I need to plan this out. And that's something that I'm worried about, that I'm thinking about as I look for work, either here or in America specifically. Will I be in an office? Will I be able to have a bathroom I can go make wudu and stuff and have space for that? Or will it not be available? Another thing is also just getting time off from Eid. In the beginning, I had this one teacher who just refused to, like, get an excused absence. She said that she would only make it an unexcused to go to Eid prayer. And their Eid prayer, it was, I didn't know at the beginning where it was in our city. I only knew where it was down in Denver, the capital. And that's an hour and a half away. So I have to make time, an hour and a half, pray for 1 hour, come back. It was just like a whole... That's something that I think about as well, and that I didn't think about as much when I was living here, because there's prayer room everywhere, masjid everywhere. Wasn't even a problem.
Have you ever prayed under, like, a stairs or maybe like a park? Okay. Okay, so okay, if anyone wants to ask a question, please, again, don't hesitate to ask. We're still learning, we are learning. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so I was asking, have you ever, like, prayed on, like, under stairs or maybe like in a corner or any in the open space or in the, in the public area, but not in your dorm?
Yeah. I did pray a couple of times in the library. I went to the top floor, because that is usually the quietest area. And when it was a very big library, there was like books and books and books and books. So I just found like a quiet area where there was just shelves of books that people didn't come to very often. Because I'm very anxious about privacy during praying. Like, I like to be alone, or in like a woman's prayer room, of course. But there are some, like, of course, in the Kaaba and Medina, whatever, you pray, and the Aqsa, that men and women pray in the same area. Like, that's different because that's a designated masjid for that. But yeah, so I just really, really liked my privacy. So when I could, I would prefer to pray in my room. But if I knew I was going to be gone all day, then I would have to do it by myself, just somewhere.
Yeah, okay. But how do the Americans actually view Muslims? You know, like, do they actually hate us, or do they actually don't care, or like, what do they? Or are they actually curious?
Yeah. So much of it is that they just don't know, because they just read what they get from their news or from the president, who is like, what he says about Islam, and people just believe that because they're just so, like, worried. And also, I think Americans, they have a very individualistic, not all of them, but I think just generally it's kind of an individualistic culture. Like, for example, they don't use the metric system, centimeter, meter, kilometer, like the whole world does. They use mile, inches, and feet and stuff. And that's not a big deal, but it's an example of how America likes to do things its own way.
Differently.
And and there are many Americans, maybe not so much in this generation because they're connected by social media, but let's say just 10 years ago, 15 years ago, there was no social media and they didn't really interact with people on the other side of the world because the majority of Americans don't even own passports. So they don't even travel to the country. And to travel in America, like from state to state, you just need a driver's license or resident ID. Like, you don't need a passport. So they never left the country. And they never experienced, it's not just Muslims, it's just any other thing. And so a lot of them, I would say just the majority of them don't know. So that's why they end up saying kind of problematic comments. Like one time, my one friend who I go to, who lived with her family, who I go to her house, she told me she was in a coffee shop one time working on her laptop, and she had stickers on her laptop about women's rights or the importance of women and things like that. And then this person came up to her and he was like, "So I see this sticker on your laptop. It says here women's rights, but you're Muslim, right? So you don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying?"
Yeah.
And she was like, "Yeah." So she told him, that's what a lot of people say, and it's true that there are some people who are really mean to women, but Quran says it's not what the Hadith says. To we just learn and educate about what's true and what's not true, and so I think that's just the main part, is that they just say things without thinking.
Yeah.
They just, connected with just other ways of life. So.
Yeah, and this is actually this probably goes to the other question from Sister Nurul. Okay, she asked, have you ever experienced facing Islamophobia people or Islamic phobia from the teachers? Then how do you overcome it? And I'm pretty sure you actually face that a lot of times in America.
So from a teacher, I've never experienced somebody saying it something mean, but a lot of them have said something again. So when I say this one teacher was talking about how it was about hieroglyphics in Egypt, the ancient Egyptian writing, or the in Iraq, the first writing from Iraq. And I answered the question about it, and she was like, "Oh, of course, you know all about it." Because she doesn't know that I'm not Egyptian and I'm not Iraqi. She just sees that I'm dressed like it. And I know it because it was our homework to read about it. And clearly I was the only one in the class who did the homework, So it's like they project onto you the idea of what Muslims are without asking you as an individual.
I see.
So, they just think that all of you all are the same.
Generalized.
So, definitely. So there's a lot of generalization. But yes, I was exposed to some dangerous parts of it. I have had people yell things at me from the street. Like I'm sitting waiting for the bus, and they drive by in their cars. I don't really remember because this is a while ago, and I can't really understand them when they're yelling. And then I was uh, I don't know if it was just because it was nighttime or what, but I was crossing the street one time, and there was a car that just pressed the gas, like he was gonna hit me. The car didn't hit me, but it felt like it almost was going to. So that's just what happened. Uh, that's the closest I came to anything dangerous. But other than that, I just wasn't subjected to that. But I do know friends of mine who did get like something told to them to their face. So it just depends who you interact with, where you live. Again, I said like Colorado it's just known for having friendly people. So.
Yeah, because even with Sister W, she said that her sister lived in America for a few months, and I guess her sister did not encounter with the people who viewed her differently. So I guess it depends on like the state that you're living, and also like the environment of, and like the area. Because even in Philadelphia, you said earlier that it's more of like a Muslim, not Muslim, but like more Muslims are there, like right, like more, and they're like more freely to express themselves, I guess. But have you ever like had people who maybe harassed you verbally, or even try to touch you or anything, or like, and how do you like face that?
No, really. I think I've always made sure to. The campus was pretty safe, and I always made sure if I was going to leave campus that I would have somebody with me. So I've never had somebody come up to me to my face. So the only things were just people who like drive by and like yell at me from their car.
Okay.
Or somebody, stuff like that.
How about verbally though, like saying stuff that you like, hurt you?
Oh, it was just something like I honestly don't remember, because the last time it happened, I really couldn't hear him because he was in a big truck, and there was a loud engine, so I really didn't hear him. But I was the only one there, so I think he said something like "Go home" or so, like "Go back to your country," along the lines of that. So yeah.
Yeah. But because it's just how guns in America are very like, it's like sell free. I mean, not for like, you can get guns anywhere. And so, what do you bring? To like your daily, I don't know, your daily stuff that you bring every day in your bag or in your purse, that to protect yourself.
Yeah, I carry pepper spray. And I don't have it with me right now because I had to leave it back in America because I was traveling, and you can't carry like weapons on a plane. So I had pepper spray, and then I also had like these plastic like little sharp knuckles that you like put your fingers through, and you can just like punch. And yeah, for my in my car, they keep like a baseball bat, like the tire iron for changing the tire, and just in case, you know. But no, I've never had to do that. I just take precautions that when I leave, if I have to leave at night, I just make sure my peppers are like in my pocket, like ready, and then I remember where exactly I parked my car, and I walk straight there, open it, close, lock the door. First thing I do before I even turn on the car is lock the door. And that's just for women in general. Like even on men, so many of them, they just do that because I even saw this thing the other day about how non-Muslim women who like go on dates, for example, if they like meet a man and he wants her number, but she doesn't feel comfortable getting her number, but she's scared that he's gonna like attack her or something if she doesn't. So she like gets the fake number, and then he tries to call her, text her like right there, Yeah, and so they have this thing on Google now where you can set up a fake number and it will answer for you. So that yeah. And I mean, it's good, but just the fact that you have to do it because you're scared for your life, like that shouldn't have to be necessary.
Yeah.
But it is necessary because that's just the world that we live in. I just won't. you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm always gonna, even here, even when I'm back here, it's just a habit now. First thing I do when I get in my car is I lock the door.
I see, I see. Yeah, okay, yeah. Because I mean, just to take precautions, you know, meaning like that. Okay, and we also have another question from Sister Nurul. Most non-Muslim friends don't really understand Islam, and they don't know and they don't understand. So how would you manage to explain it to them? You know, if it were you, if you have your friends asking you about like, why do you put on the shield, or like, why what is Islam, or like, how do you manage to answer that? Just to introduce to them.
Right. I always start with basics about how I always try to keep myself educated with different lectures to watch on YouTube or the apps online to give you like dua every day or an ayah every day, just things like that for reminders. So I always point people to that. In America specifically, the people I've interacted with, they don't know that we also believe in Isa and Musa and Adam, and like all those prominent prophets that Christians believe in. They don't know, they never believed that we believed in them too. And so I just start with that. And they're like, oh, you believe in them too? I'm like, yes, because they only think that there's just Muhammad and there's just like, you know, the Quran and like that's it. We believe in the same other prophets, the same other messengers, the same other uh, angels, angels. Yeah, so discussing discussing that hijab has always been um, Allah's order on women, because Isa's mother, Mary,
Yeah.
they have statues of Mary in all the churches, and she always has a covering on her hair. And I'm like, it's right there. Like you have it, you see it yourselves.
Yeah.
So just saying, like it's just the prominent thing that we still we hold as a principle, and that we just it's just in the nature. Like ever since we were little kids, we wore them, and yeah. So that's just what I said. It's about modesty. It's about the dedication to your faith and to Iman. It's about how hijab for you and hijab for men as well. And it's so important with marriage. I think somebody asked me about like how will he like you if he can't see what you look like? Things like that. And I'm like, well, I mean, the way it works, there's many different reasons, but one of the reasons that I always think about is how if Islam was more portrayed correctly, and women, a lot of women don't wear hijab because they feel forced, or they just weren't introduced to it the right way, or they have a negative image of it. But if it was taught in the right way and a positive way, by example, and all women wear hijab, and your husband has only seen you without hijab, right? By like his sister and his mother and everything, then he'll think you're the most beautiful woman in the world, because that's one of the reasons we wear hijab, is to not compare ourselves to each other and to envy each other and be jealous of each other. Like that's one. So it works for men too, because right now, with social media, and there's so many pictures of women on Instagram, so many, and and Muslim women will often compare themselves to that kind of image of a woman, and then they will feel like they're not confident, and they should like what they wear is not considered beautiful, and then they feel like they will just never measure up or never really be viewed in that same way. So
yeah,
it's one thing it's supposed to protect you from feeling that way. So that's part of the thing.
Yeah, so I think if you want to explain to them, like even this also goes with the same with Sister Saida, Sadia, sorry, Sister Sadia also asked the same, somehow the same question about, you know, do you ever meet the person who is interested about Islam and want to learn more about it? Yeah, I mean, if we encounter this kind of people, the first thing that we should tell them is not about the rules in Islam, but it's about the beauty. You know, it's about like having the same views first. Maybe even like what you said earlier, you know, about you know, we also believe in, you know, Prophet Isa, and about how Isa is Miriam's the son of Miriam or Mary, and then you know how there we also have to this the names of the prophets are almost the same. I mean, that's if we talk to like maybe the Christian or even the religious people. But if we talk about like to those who are maybe not though like an atheist, or maybe not a very religious you know, Christian or even Catholic or whatever religion it is, what we should probably say is, you know, the fact that Islam is the way of life, maybe, and know how the rules in Islam is not to hinder us, but it's actually to protect us. Like, for example, maybe, you know, we can start by saying, you know, how this veil or this hijab that we put on is not because we what do you call, like, not, it's not hot, like even if it's hot, but it's because we want to protect our beauty. No, the beauty of like us is not to be shown to anyone, you know, just like the pearl inside that, what do you put, that pearl house. Yeah, I mean, it's just like that. And just because we're so precious that not anyone can see us. When, and again, that's the thing, you see, what they don't know is the perspective from us, but what they always see is from the media about wars, about killing maybe, and it's just that media is just fooling them around and they believe in that. And so that's why you know, this phobia happens. And we also actually have a question from Sister Fidia. She asked, some people think that Muslims are radical. What do they think Americans think also about that Muslims are very radical, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think it it has gotten better for the most part, but it's hard to, it's kind of hard to explain because it really just depends on the person. But is there people who I think what they don't know most about it is the radicalness, is that they think it is only targeted at America, like September 11 attacks, or just any kind of like bombing or shooting. They think it's only targeted at them. They don't know that a lot of the radical actually kill Muslims. You know, like the Muslims who die in like in Afghanistan from like different like explosions and things there that are caused by extremists.
Mm.
They, yeah, so that's something that I really talked about, is like it happens here, and they target innocent Muslims like here too. Like it's not just an American problem. Like there are more people who are dying here from the terrorism than over in America, because you guys are safe. You're a big continent. You're on the other side of the world. It doesn't happen as often there as it does here. And so, and there are a lot of people who are also terrorists and extremists in America, like the white people who like kill black people, or they just hate anybody who's not white, you know. But those people, they're not labeled as extremists. Like you can open the American FBI police dictionary, like label of definitions, and they don't define those people as extremists. They only define like people from like Islam or other So that's the thing, is that they don't distinguish
I see.
between those groups of people.
Okay.
So yeah.
So they
yeah.
don't, yeah, they don't distinguish, whether it's a Muslim or whether it's like those extremists. They just, again, it's back to the generalization, like, oh, okay, because he's like, again, and for example, the extremist group, like, they are those Muslims, so which means all Muslims are extremists. I guess the generalization back to that, right?
Yeah, yes, that's essentially it. Is and I mean they know generally that we're not all like that, but still they just don't know anything other than that because that's what they've been giving in the news or
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah. Actually, the question that we have from Sister Paula and Sister Nita, it's almost the same as a question from Sister Nurul. But let me just read it first. From Sister Paula, she asked, maybe most of the people are asking about, Islamic phobia, but is there? Oh, sorry. I'm talking about Sister Nita. Yeah, her question is almost the same as Sister Rules, because she asked, what I want to know is the negative view of Muslim, example, the Islamic phobia, and Sister Kaya already explained that. So maybe we can go to Sister Paula. She asked about the positive thing, like maybe there are probably also, like you said, not all people are negative or like view Muslim as terrorists or even radical. But then, of course, there's also some people who are open-minded. So how about those people who appreciate and welcome you in America? Like, how about those experiences that you face?
Yeah, it's been really good. People who are just very open-minded and very kind. Because right now, if you see in the news, there are a lot of calls for equality in America because we have the Black Lives Matter protests and they have the economic reform protests. So the Black Lives Matter protest is like when the police target Black people at a different rate than white people because there are these assumptions and there are these biases that you have towards that they are criminals or that like just that they need to respect the police, otherwise they wouldn't have so much problems with police. They're like, no, you shouldn't have to work so hard in your life to respect police as just so you don't get killed. Like that shouldn't be a thing, and also they're protesting for the economic inequality. So now with coronavirus, millions of people are unemployed, but there are also many people who let's say owners of big businesses, they still get lots of money, and if people protest against them, like you're not paying us fairly, then they'll just fire them and get people instead of them to work. And they're like, this is not fair. Right now, the minimum wage in America, the minimum wage is like the least you can pay somebody, so that there's a limit. It was made a law so that people would get paid enough money to be able to live. But anywhere in the United States, the minimum wage is not enough for rent, for electricity, for food. It's like the prices have gone up so much. And even me, when I'm trying to look at like different salaries and different places to live, it's very expensive. And they're like, this is not fair because everybody it's a human right to be able to have enough money to live. And right now, the U.S. government is fighting with each other over how much money to give the relief money every week for people who are unemployed right now. And there are also people demanding that the restaurants reopen and that the salons reopen and all this. But that means that people who work as cleaners or servers or then they have to go back to work, and then they're in danger of getting coronavirus more than anyone else because they have to work there all day, they have to touch everything, they have to have all of these customers that are breathing the same air and everything. Um, and yeah, that's the thing that's also unequal is because just because they work that kind of job, they are at higher risk. But people who, let's say, have a college degree, they work in a company, they can work from home over Zoom, over email. So there's a lot of things going on in America right now about people fighting up, standing up for justice. For people who are poor, people who are Black, all this stuff. So it does kind of help with Muslims too. Like they do understand now that Muslims are also being subject to different forms of inequality. And so it's better like that people have that open-minded mentality to help each other, to protest against inequality. So that's something that I would say is really, really positive.
I see.
And just anybody who, like I've had people when I'm walking in the street, or I'm walking in the shop, people not Muslim, they just say "Assalamu alaikum" because they know that that's our greeting.
I see.
Just little things like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's great. And also, I think that the solidarity in America is pretty strong too. But again, standing up for justice. Okay, maybe this could be our. I'm not sure if we want to continue the Zoom, but there's this last question from Sister Nurul. Thank you so much, Sister Nurul, for being active. She asked, "What is your most obstacle, and do you have a plan to move to a Muslim country?" Okay.
Yeah. I think my biggest obstacle is just right now. This is something I'm gonna count for every single day. Is Allah to show me the path, because I feel like every part of my life has kind of been planned out. Like from going to school, grade 1 to grade 12. Like that's the standard. Everybody is supposed to do that. And then college, that's something as well. The university, that's something as well that you can do. And now that I'm about to be finished with university, now I'm like, okay, now I have to decide what I do next. And that's my obstacle is deciding. I'm looking for work here and in America. And it looks like America might be better just because it has more entry level jobs. Here, based on what I see, the jobs want more like 5 years, 8 years, 10 years experience. I'm still just very new. So I'm still working on that, which is why it's more so looking like America. And that's also my biggest obstacle, because I'm back here with my family, and I don't want to leave again, but it looks like I'm gonna have to because there's just not much for me here right now. The end goal is to live in a Muslim country. That is where I want to settle down and raise my kids, just because I just feel safer there, and I feel like it's better for them in general. So that's the biggest obstacle, is just to figure out how to balance what I want for my future, what I need to do right now, family, staying close with friends that I made here and that I made there. I have so many things here and there that I'm kind of just deciding what to do, and I just don't know. It's difficult, but inshallah.
Yeah. I mean, mashallah. So hopefully, let's all pray that may Allah show us the right path to all of us here, to you, to the friends that are here, and to the friends that are out there. May Allah always ease us to do the good deeds and just to open the right path for us. Because even though we plan something, it might not be the same way as Allah planned. But then again, at the end of the day, we should thank Allah because He knows best. He knows best for us, and whatever we want, He will give us better than that, inshallah. So hopefully you won't yeah, I know. I mean, I know it's a bit hard, just think about what's going to happen next, a bit in the future. But again, let's always pray and ask Allah to give us the right path. And about you moving to a Muslim country, yes, as you said, you want to settle in a Muslim country, raise your kids there, and just like settle down in a Muslim country. But maybe for now, seeking for jobs and opportunity, it seems like America is still like more, I don't know, more has more opportunity than UAE, I guess, because in the UAE they need like a professional, I guess, professionals, like 2, 4, 5 years experience and stuff like that. And actually, we still have 30 seconds minute until this Zoom ends. So, do you? And yes, Rukai knows Arabic. Of course, she knows. She is, I mean, half Palestinian, so obviously her parents raised her as in Arabic. Do you have any motivational speech for us just to close up this Zoom meeting for 2 minutes?
Yeah, just never forget, Allah is always with you inside of your heart, and you represent a wonderful example just by getting up in the morning and doing what you do. Just the dua, the prayer, the wearing the hijab, and it's going to follow you everywhere you go, and it is stronger than anything else in the world, stronger than any weapon, physical weapon. So just always have that.
So have it in mind that Allah is the most strongest weapon. Is like He had the powerful one, because He is the one that will give us the thing that we need, basically. And actually, even there's a hadith. I'm not sure if this is a hadith or a proverb or saying, but dua is the most powerful weapon for a Muslim. I don't. Is it a hadith or is it an Arabic saying? I'm not sure. But yeah, that's what they say. Dua is the most powerful weapon as a Muslim. So if you want anything, let's always pray for that, because Allah is all hearing and all knowing. So even though all dua, they said all dua will be granted actually, but it's just the time is different, and also the way He will grant is different. So again, thank you so much for everyone who's joining us. I'm so sorry if there's a lot of mistakes that we made, especially for the lateness, and maybe also like the connection, but that's always happens. That's the technical problem always happen. And so let's hope to keep in touch. And if you want to know anything, just stay in the group and share your information. And Sister Kaya here will also definitely keep up in touch with you guys. Okay, let's hope for that. Thank you, everyone. I'm so sorry that for the mistakes, and I hope inshallah we'll see you guys next week with a different session. Okay, thank you, everyone. Love you. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Thank you so much, Rakaya. Thank you.